Okay folks, welcome to video 3. Today's mission will be similar ACM in the case of the A-4, so A-4 versus A-4. And because they are the same aircraft, there'll be no advantage due to the aircraft. But before we get started in a series of things I want to discuss, let's just cover the aircraft to make sure it's ready to go. I got the stab log on, I got my flap set at half, I've got my chaff and my armament panel set up as far as I want to go at this point. Altimeter setting is set to field elevation, 0 on the airspeed, 0 on the VSI. I've got Kobletti in the TAC end reading 0 DME, good indication. I got 0 mils for my gun sight. I've got 3,000 foot set on my radar altimeter for safety. Engine instruments all look good. I've got my trim set the way I like it. Navigation set is fine. I've got button 4 on the radio for tower, and I've got TAC and set 67 as mentioned above. I've got all my lights set up. Okay, before we taxi, I want to cover a series of things. I already mentioned A4 versus A4, no advantage due to aircraft, so it's going to be pilot skill. No advantage to selecting one circle over two circle necessarily, and so we'll see how that turns out. Another lesson out of today's flight, and before I get into that, let me discuss what we're going to try to do here. Both of us have 2 IR missiles, and both of us have 200 rounds or 200 bullets, a full load of bullets. And I will restrict myself to missiles only until the missiles are gone, and then I'll start using bullets. The AI will do what the AI does, which is probably use both whenever the situation calls for it. And because I'm limiting myself to IR missiles, I'm going to be going through a balance during the fight. I want to get close to them, but not too close that I'm inside the minimum range of the missile. I don't want to get too far away and be outside the maximum range of the missile. I don't want to get too far outside of him also because he could be getting close to me. So I want to stay behind his wing line as much as possible. So I want to have the advantage during the flight, but I also want to give him enough strength so that I can shoot the missile. Also, the missiles that we're using are the Sidewinder P5, which is a very early all-aspect version of the Sidewinder missile. And I would say that it's so early in the technology that I would consider it really rear quarter only, and that's the way I'm going to employ it today. Which means probably within 45 degrees of the tail would be the ideal shot. Now, I may not get that today. I may just try to get one that's a little outside of that and maybe one inside the 45, and we'll see if we can kill the guy. If not, then, like I said, I'll revert to bullets. The P5 is also fairly easily spoofed by flares, so if he shoots out flares, it's going to make it even that much more difficult. Something I want you to notice as I'm turning and burning is on the outside shots that I'm going to show you. Take notice of 2 things on my wings. First, the leading edge slats that are aerodynamic and somewhere around 200 to 225 or so, maybe around 250, depending on the angle of attack. The spoilers will pop out once I'm below that, and will assist me in my turn. If I'm above that airspeed, they will retract into the wing or on the leading edge of the wing and essentially be just a part of the wing and not give me any other advantage. I will manually be operating the flaps so that when I'm going over the top, when I'm slow speed, I'll be putting the flaps out to increase my angles. And then when I'm accelerating, trying to gain energy, I will put them back in again so they can pick up knots or energy, kinetic energy. And I think that's pretty much what I wanted to say. So without any further ado, we'll start taxiing out. Okay, looks good that way, coming this way. And as we're taxiing out, I'm going to bring up oh, there it is right there, my A4 checklist, something that I developed. I'm using that because I'm not happy with the checklists that are inside the cockpit. I'm sure those are the real ones, but they're not as complete as I would like to be. So I'll just run through it real quick. Canopy is already closed. The stab aug is on. Spoilers are going to be armed. And let's see, let's arm them now. And you can see the spoiler arm light right down here. It's on. Speed brake is in. That light is out. Flaps are set at half. You can see that down here. The flaps are at half. Altimeter is set to field elevation. The guns are in safe mode, and the master arm is off for the time being. Trim is set to whatever I like to set it at. It's not quite 8 degrees. I think that's a little much, but that's the number that the real A4 uses. Okay, and I've got the pin in my ejection seat pulled. I'm ready for takeoff here. And we'll get down there. I'm going to kill the checklist here so I can take the runway. Kobuleti Tower, Cylon 717 is taking runway 7 for departure. Okay, and I'm not going to wait for any response because there won't be any, as we've discussed already a couple times. And the only thing I'm going to check for real quick is the, yeah, there he is. He's still on the northern parallel taxiway, so we're just going to roll, get going here. And it pops up and it takes off on its own. Get the gear and the flaps. Okay, flaps are up and gear is up as we go through the gear speed, which is good. Okay, I'm going to start my turnout towards a heading of 250, heading out for the offshore mole. And once we get established on the outbound heading, I will cover the fence-in checklist real quick. Okay, since we are going to be doing or using IR missiles today, I'm going to turn the power on my chaff and flares and select number 2, which is flares. Don't have to worry too much about chaff today. And I'm also going to take the guns out of safe, and I'm going to take the master arm and put it on. And I will hold off on selecting the guided missile on the rotary knob here until we get a little bit closer, because it makes a lot of noise. The other things on my checklist include setting the rate out, which I already have at 3,000 feet. That's for safety in the range. Lets me know kind of where we are. And then again, the last thing, turning off my lights. Let's see if they actually did turn off. Okay, they're off. Okay, we're coming up on about the 220 radio, so a little bit further to go, but we're only about 6 miles. So without any further ado, I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit, and we'll get there a little quicker. So we're all ready to go fight. Okay, we're in the area now. We're looking for the bogey, and I'm sure he's going to pop up here somewhere. Okay, I think I see him. Yeah, I thought I saw him. I don't see him now. There he is, coming up in front of me. Okay, just a reminder, this is a heat seeker versus heat seeker, missile v missile. No guns. Now he can shoot guns if he wants, because he's AI and he'll do what he wants. But my plan is to just try to build enough distance between me and him that I can shoot him with a missile. So I'm trying to, what I'll do is lag here. Just lag him. Okay. Not so far that I lose sight of him. Okay. Okay, I got that tone now, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me. Yeah, getting too close. Lag. Get behind him. Okay, I think we're going to get it this time. Pull up. I'm not getting any signature on him at all. There we go. Pull power back a little bit. Yeah, these missiles are pretty stupid. That should have been a good shot, but it would have been on a modern missile, but it wasn't fooled. I mean, it was fooled by that countermeasure. Let's try again one more time. Yep, fooled again. Okay, so now we're basically down to guns. So now I've got to take my guns out of safe, get some speed, and now I want to close on them. Obviously, I want to be closer for a gunshot. So we'll try to lead him here a little bit using my flaps over the top to make angles, flaps up to build airspeed. Build airspeed. Get out in front of them, not too far out in front, and then turn to parallel. Flaps, rolling with them. He's going to try to go over the top. Okay. Flaps. Okay, I'm pretty slow. I'm going to build up some airspeed here and go up again. He's going to... Maybe I'll get a shot this time. Okay, I only have 7 seconds of trigger pull time, so flaps are up. Okay. Thrust vector is a little bit out in front of them because I'm trying to close the distance. Okay, about 250. We're about the same speed, I'm sure. Flaps out, flaps in. Okay, this is going to be good here. I took part of his wing off, maybe his aileron. That may have been my last bullet. Let's see. Okay, flaps going out. Ooh, where is he? Yeah, whatever he did, that was a good move because I lost him. There he is. This is that was a good move on his part. Okay, he got away. Let's build up some airspeed. There's 3,000 feet coming up. Using the flaps to get some angles. Flaps up again to get some speed. Extend to get speed. There's 300 knots or so, and up we go. Not a real hard pull. He's starting to turn to one direction, so I'm going to lead him. I've got my flaps going out again to close some angles here. And then back up again to get speed. Okay. This guy's a tricky little dude. Okay, flaps up, picking up airspeed. Okay, there's 250, there's 300, up we go. Flaps out, track the nose, flaps in, or excuse me, coming up. I could take a shot there, but I only have like 1 or 2 bullets left, if any. I'm going to go up with him because I don't think he has much more energy than I do. And I don't need to go as high. That's too much of a glancing shot. Let's try to cut him off here. He's going to get nervous. Oh, that's... Come on, get some airspeed. Airspeed. I unloaded a little bit there to get more airspeed. If you go to 0G, there's no lift-generated drag. Ooh, I think I got him that time. It's hard to tell. That got him. Wasn't sure I had any bullets left. From a different perspective.
Okay, we're going to work that last maneuver this time. And then we're going to finish out the flight.
That got him. Wasn't sure I had any bullets left. Okay, that's a pretty good fight. Time to put the head of the needle on the nose. Okay, we got good altitude. Our fuel here is about 1,500 pounds. It took a lot of gas for that fight. But we're close enough to the field. I'm not worried about the fuel, but we'll stay here at 13 until we have to come down. Trim it all up nice. Okay, we're coming into the break, and we'll be coming into the carrier brake as well. Kobeletti Tower, Cylon 717, initial for the carrier brake. (800 feet). Spoilers are armed. Okay, starting to brake, putting the speed brakes out. (250) is the reciprocal. Okay, below gear speed. Gear's coming down. Okay. And coming off the 180. Yeah, spoilers are armed. Okay, and I've got a donut, and I've got 3 down and full flaps. Yeah, I don't know where that is, but I'm just going to leave it off. A little fast. Okay. Idle on the power. Easy on the touchdown. And then we'll set the nose down. And spoilers are up. And I'm not even touching the brakes, and we're slowing down. Well, I think it was another good lesson. It was a lot of fun, that's for sure. A lot of turning, a lot more than I expected. A couple of surprises. Really not a surprise with the missile, though. Although I think, in hindsight, probably my angle off was certainly had something to do with the misses. By the time I actually shot it, he had turned, and I was, at least on one of them, I was pretty close to 90 degrees. Although the missile is supposed to be all aspect, and I had a good solid tone, so it kind of supports my contention that this is really a aft quarter missile. At least against an A4 type target. Afterburning target, maybe a little better. Okay, you folks have a good day.